Today I'm animating Tail Teller, which for those of you who don't know, and I haven't gone into a huge amount of detail in a vlog yet, the Tail Teller is an animated short that I'm making that's been funded by Google and Screen Australia. And it's a 10-minute short, and it's been so long since I've been able to make an animation for the sake of making an animation. And that's what I'm most excited about. It's a story that I'm really enjoying telling, and we're wrapping it up now. In the next 3 weeks, we're gonna finish it. And that feels amazing. So I'm working on some of the end scenes here. I just finished this shot with this character sort of walking in.
Jazza, who had wandered in, was searching with contented grin.
It's funny how such a simple animation segment, just like a little walk and then turning his head, can take like so long. Like if I go into the head here, you can see that each of these frames had to be drawn from scratch, and they're only slightly different. But then to try and keep the construction of the head, and then also to do the shading around the edges as it transforms around the head turn is tricky. But I also find those transitions to animate some of the most satisfying, where there's a three-dimensional object, obviously 2D, but you know what I mean, where you draw it turning and the light working around that, or even if you have something still and you animate the light moving or casting differently across that surface. I really enjoy the feeling of creating something that feels tangible or three-dimensional. In this scene where we have a lady walking into the town square and then a gentleman walking into the town square. So that's the rest of today, and if I have time I'm going to go back to yesterday's animation and finish off the pigeons and some paper animation. So the power went out. I didn't lose any work really, that's fortunate. No, everything's on. I guess the power's officially off. So that's unfortunate. Probably won't be too long. It usually isn't. Might be, what, like 10, 15 minutes at best, but anyway. Anyways, I had some other stuff I needed to work on for Project Greenwing anyway, so I guess it's time to work on that. I'm gonna grab my pencil case. Got my sketchbook. Fortunately, I remembered to charge them. Get it? Because they don't have batteries. And the power's out, and I don't need power to use the sketchbook. Anyways, I'll stop. At least it will only be a short amount of time. When I grew up out in the bush, like when the power went out, it was out for like 6 hours at a time. So it was cool though, because we used to like light candles and used to play piano with the candles. It was fun. Anyway.
We have no candles.
No, we don't. It's not dark enough to justify it. And the power's back on. Okay, and I can fit in an hour worth of work. A little bit behind though. Okay, scanning and repairing drive. Let's hope to God that does something productive, because this may be the end of my business right here. Please be normal, 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 please. Okay. So everything seems normal, but here's the rub. This is the scene I was working on. It's destroyed. All the work I did today is completely down the drain. The Swift file works, so I can open this and I can see the work I did today. I just can't open it because the core file is corrupt due to the power going out. And just so I don't completely forever lose 5 hours work, I'm going to try and break apart this Swift, decompile it somehow, and replace it into a new Act 5 Scene 2 animate file. But to do that, I have to go back to my animatic and take the section from Act 5 Scene 2, recreate the base that I worked with today, and then try and bring in the assets that I've made. Okay, so this is the file I've created. It's my animatic. So I have the very basic storyboard animatic setup that I had before. I've just created a new layer and double-clicked to select it all, and I've gone File, Import to Stage, and I've just selected the Swift that I still had and double clicked it, and it seems to, if I hide and everything except for that layer, it seems to have brought everything in that I animated with all of it on one layer, each in individual frames. But this includes assets like the camera and the background has a new frame every frame. I'm thanking the heavens above that I didn't lose everything. Okay, and it seems that I've rescued at least the jester animation. I won't actually be able to make any adjustments because it's lost the way I set up the character, but it kept the hard work, which was the head turn. It's 5 o'clock, I'm done for the day. I didn't get all the scenes done that I wanted to, obviously, because the power went out for about half an hour and I lost about 3 hours work. So that has set me back quite a bit. Now my friend Greg is working on the environment, so the backgrounds are done by him, and he and I are recording the entirety of our animation and art process. So I have video footage of what I had created. Obviously one of them is corrupt because that's when the power went out, but there is this video file that shows how I did animate the character before, and the head was frame by frame animated in its entirety, creating a bit of a head turnaround as she turned around in the scene. I've had to reanimate this entire character and scene from scratch. Obviously didn't get all the way through, but I at least redid the character. I cut a few corners though. Instead of using frame by frame animation for the head, I did frame by frame animation only for the hair, which you can see when she turns her head. The frame by frame is only the hair itself. And then underneath the hair is actually a bunch of layers that make up the face that I've tweened. And then with those in combination, the hybrid animation still makes for some pretty refined looking animation. It's just a shame that I couldn't do the whole thing in frame by frame like I had done and lost. I'm gonna wrap up today. It's 5 past. I'm gonna try and go for a run for half an hour. Then I have a haircut. Then I'm going to the theater with my wife. And we're gonna go see a show called Company, which I'm looking forward to. Question of the day comes from Jules Fast, who says, what's the app called? Is it available for iOS? Referring to Jazza's Arty Games, the name of the app, which has just been released on Android and PC. The approval process for iOS is complete, but the contract process is finalizing. So you should see it on iOS, hopefully within the next 24 hours. I'll put a link up on the shop page and maybe in this video as soon as I can. But you know, we're right on the precipice of glory, as one might say. No one would say that. What is wrong with me? I've obviously had a difficult day. That being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're in the theater, but I'm too nervous to hold the camera up.